How's it going, everybody? This is the Erroneous One here with the Kingdom Hearts Shooting Cross PvP tips and tricks, or guide video. We'll call it guide. Why not? Let's call it guide. Basically, I'm making this video to try and give some ideas, some of you guys again, for setups and for other options for PvP to advance and to increase your ranking in there. It's changed a bit since, well, obviously since it first came out, it's changed a lot. But even then, we thought it was kind of settling into a certain meta up to a point in terms of, like, you know, skills and everything to utilize, and that's not quite the case anymore. So I'm going to start from the beginning, just kind of going into this one. Right now, I'm just using 2 Keyblades that are full, the third one not so much yet. I haven't really gotten into the treasure trove involving yet. I'll get that one more situated probably after I deal with my Buzz a little more. Right now, Buzz has no skills. I still have 2 more medals on him to throw traits on. Right now, he has some okay traits. He has 3 poisons, 1 ground, and 1 strength. That's very good, but I'm hoping either for EA or some raid traits on him. So depending on what I roll later on is what determines what skill I will put on him going forward. So we're waiting for that one. But he sits fine there for right now. He deals a lot of damage right now, even without a skill. And right now, at the current rank we're at, I don't need to worry too much about him having a skill to increase the rank on there. So there's that one. My Dark Gnaw is right here. But basically, the main thing so far for these blades anyway that I'm utilizing is defense boost. You should always have a defense boost 3 max on all your setups at bare minimum. That should be at the bare minimum you have, if you have one. Hopefully, you know, that's also a current issue as well too. Do you have the skills or do you not have the skills in order to put things on these setups? But DB3 max should be put on all setups no matter what. After that, defense boost 4s and defense boost 5s are your next go-tos. You should have one of each. If you have a few more, that might actually help out a little more. I'm not sure at that point in time, and I guess I'll do a test on this one, or if anybody knows, they can leave a comment down below. If having more medals with defense boost will help you as opposed to not having attack skills on them going forward. Because right now, for instance, my Riku Stained Glass has a defense boost 4 on him. Going over into my Dark Gnaw, it is my Xion EX that has a defense boost 3 max, and not this one, sorry. Oh, I didn't put a defense. I need to change this one out. I forgot that. I didn't put a defense boost 4 skill on this one just yet. I'm probably going to pretty soon, but I haven't done it just yet. Because like I said, where I'm ranked at, I didn't need it right now, and I would change it later on as I got other setups a little more situated. Honestly, I'll probably just throw in my HPO medal, which is the Hanger Pencilet medal, in there in place of my key art right here, because my HPO medal has a defense boost 5 on it, so we'll probably throw that one on it more than likely. So those are the concepts here. Now you guys may notice I'm not using any more triple threats or triple threat 2s, and that's for a certain reason. Number one, statuses are annoying. They still hit you when they're being used, but if you have enough resist traits, you can kind of avoid that, which is kind of helpful. Of course, your setups and your medals depend on that one, but you might want to use medals that also have, as best as possible, like sleep resist, and poison resist. Paralyze, kind of, sort of, it is an annoying thing, but I think poison and sleep are the worst ones at the moment really deal with. But on the whole, when you're ranking higher nowadays, the statuses don't matter, really, for the most part. You're not seeing too many statuses matter, or if they do hit you, they hit you afterwards, and people are adjusting their setups. For instance, my Dark Gnaw. There's a reason my Xion is in slot 3 as opposed to slot 1. Because if I get paralyzed or put to sleep or anything else, if Roxas goes off, great, extra damage. If not, no big deal. My Xion gives me all the buffs and debuffs I need for my other 3 medals to hit as hard as possible. That's all I need. I don't really need anything beyond that. So people are getting wise to that one. The only thing that's really going to hurt me afterwards, aside from that setup right there, is going to be poison. Hence, having poison resist is kind of helpful. So that's it. I mean, that's not too much to handle. So basically, some setups after the first setup, because when you're attacking, the first setup you use, obviously, you're not going to be touched. You're hitting first, so you don't need to worry about getting paralyzed or put to sleep or anything. Second turn, your opponent attacks first. That's where you kind of need to worry about that one, especially if they manage to get any form of stat effect on you in the first round. Some do, some don't. It varies off, but this keeps you safe regardless. If they don't have anything in the first round to hit you with, and they do hit you with a stat effect in the second round, well, then your pet goes off with Isuna, and then everything in your Keyblade and on your second setup goes through. So you're kind of guarded regardless against that. But players are putting their strongest buffers now in slot 3 to avoid stat effects, which leads to the issue of statuses like Triple Threat 2 and everything don't have quite as much utility as they once did, because that's happening. So something that you need to be aware of and be ready to contend with going into PvP. Where are you placing your buffers now? That's going to be important. Even also too, when you are defending, because you should have a attacking setup and a defense setup. When you are defending, it's best to have your strongest 2 Keyblades set up first, because when you're attacked, they hit you first. So if they do manage to stat affect you, it goes away immediately with Isuna on your pet right there. The second battle, you attack first, so you don't need to worry about stat effects or anything hitting your or dealing with stat effects for your second setup, because you're going to go in there and hit it first. Anything that hits you with stat effects afterwards, which the only thing that will hurt you at that point again would be poison, so you're kind of okay there in that regard. So that's for both attacking and defensive. Again, why Triple Threat isn't being used as much. It's all about having those defense boost skills on their medals. Defense boost 3 max, defense boost 4s, defense boost 5s as much as possible going forward into these kind of things. Another step there, aside from just where you're placing your Keyblades now, when you are attacking everything, or basically when you use medals now for up to point, like your buffer medals, and by that I mean things like Zexion Plus, HD Zexion, HPO. The sad reality of it now is when you start getting into some of the higher ranks, not all of them yet, but when you get to the higher ranks, people have Kairi here, and people have Xion right here. And they reset the buffers and the debuffs. So what's the point? I mean, if I wanted to, for instance, like, in this setup right here, Kairi goes off, and I could have, other medals in this setup here, for instance, that will lower my enemy strength and increase my defense. That doesn't matter, though, so much when it's your opponent's turn to attack, and their first medal is a Kairi EX Plus or a Xion EX Plus. Big whoop, it doesn't matter anymore. The buffers and debuffers are reset. That's why these medals are important. They're not necessary right now for much of the game. Don't get me wrong, don't mislead me into saying don't get misled by that fact just yet. You can still get along just fine with Kairi EX and Xion EX. Not the plus versions, but they're just their EX versions in the game just fine for a majority of things. It's just that if you don't have Kairi or Xion, you are going to need to contend with status resist a little more. That would be more of an issue, and with debuffs and buffing medals that debuff you and buff your opponent a bit more, unfortunately. But eventually, Kairi and Xion will come as a mercy, either 5 or 10. We're all hoping for a 5 mercy, because that would be the best thing for all of us. But eventually, they'll come as a mercy, and more people will have Xion and Kairi EX Plus, so status effects and like buffing medals and debuffing medals will kind of be a thing of the past. Since they aren't really going to do much, why bother with them, I mean, there's no point in wasting a slot here on my Finner or even on my Dark Knight here with putting like HD Zexion there, or even like Zexion Plus, or even Vexen Plus to lower the strength or anything, or Chicken Little to lower the strength or anything, when Kairi or Xion will just remove the buff. It just resets. So that's also been a huge change up in PvP. So those are kind of it right now, I think, for the most part. It's like things like Triple Threat aren't having as much impact anymore. And even if you don't have Kairi or Xion, say you don't even have those, fine, no big deal. Where you place your buffers, if you were to put right here and you were to put your Kairi or your Xion EX medals in the third slot right there for slots 2 or setups 2 and 3, you're going to be fine in terms of the buffers and debuffers. The first two medals here in your slots, then here and here, you just want to put your defense medals for the most part, because you know their main goal in there would be to have the defense buffs. If they go off, all the better for you. If they don't, it's not a lot. You still have that the defense buff going through there. So having setups to have like maybe like 2 defense boost 4s and then the 1 defense boost 3 max. And those setups, like, you know, slot 1 and slot 2 have DB4 medals, equip medals there, and slot 3 has your defense boost max with like your buffer medal. You're kind of set. That's kind of way it's gonna roll. So first setup should be your strongest setup. Your strongest attacking setup should be right there, because you're not gonna have to worry about anything, statuses, buffs, whatever. You're gonna be fine. And then medals will reset there too as well. It's setups 2 and 3. You kind of have to mix around your keyblades a little bit and where things are placed normally. That's going to be right now. So right now, we're going to go into a few rounds, and we're going to show you kind of what I'm talking about. Sure, why not? We'll go for, I guess we'll try to make it a little higher right now. See what we can do right now. Dun, dun. So, here we go. So far, this player has defense boost 3 max. And it looks like he just has DB3 max, which is still good. You know, this is at bare minimum what you do want. Buzz is still doing good. He's dealing over 1 million damage without a skill. Right, so when I put a skill on him, that damage is going to increase exponentially, which I'm really looking forward to. Warrior Light, 1.7 million damage, not too bad. 1.2 with my key art bonds there. And there we go, 39 million damage dealt. So this player has a Kyrie X and a Stained Glass 3, which gives him his max buffs and debuffs on me. Here's that one. So he had a 7-star Goofy, which is pretty good. Warrior Light, still a 6-star, I believe. Yeah, still a 6-star. But does a double cast on it, so that's good. And key art 17 prime. Okay, so 25. So that's not too bad. But see, I also had defense boost 4s went off, and honestly, I should have a different setup. Okay, so here is Man in Black. That will remove all stats effects from both players, so that's a good start. Starting point for that one. And here I am. I'm not affected, but that won't matter because I'm just going to go through and have my Asuna take it off right now. But the Man in Black setup was a good thing to have there, because since you attack first, that would help you. It would remove all statuses either way off of both players. But you kind of want that on a different setup, though, on the whole. Because if he was stats affected, then his pet would have taken it off, and that would have been a waste of the Man in Black. So I'm going to win this round pretty handily, because his setup right there was entirely meant to debuff and buff me, but Kyrie just reset everything, so everything's reset now. Henceforth, there's no point for any form of debuffing medals on me, because, or on other players, because they have those, the buffs and everything is reset. That was too bad, 29 million, that's not too bad for that one. Again, he had DB3 maxes on his setup, so that's pretty good for him. I do need to change my setup a little bit. I need to put on, like, when I'm attacking, when I'm doing PvP basically, or when I go to bed at night, if I want to, like, defend my rank a little more to help me out a little bit more, I do need to change my setup to a item perk, or not, sorry, a skill perk setup, so that my defense boost will go off more often. Right now, I think I only have like a skill perk of like 9, because it's more for cosmetics than anything else. Okay, let's see. Not sure. Well, we'll attack the highest one. Instead of rank 2000, I think it is. Let's see how we go here. Okay, got hit there. Treasure Trove is the first setup. Interesting. He has DB3 maxes only, looks like, on his setup. Alright. 1.2 million there, 1.7 million there, 1.2 million, so we did pretty good for that one. 39.9 million, not bad. Okay, he's double casted Stained Glass, so that'll give him his max buffs and debuffs. But nothing for reverse yet, so Scar won't hit quite as hard. Okay. I'm not sure why that medal was there. Maybe to restore gauge, I guess? Probably to restore gauge for Laxius and for... Well, probably for Laxius. And again, Shion's here, but there was no speed buffs or reverse buffs, so she didn't hit quite as hard as she could have. So another viable strategy was he could have put his weakest setup first, and then his next two setups are going to be his strong setups, like the powerful ones, potentially. That's also a viable strategy as well, which works surprisingly well, more often than I thought it would at times. Oof, this is a good setup. He has a good setup right here. Yeah, this is his second keyboard. It's a very strong setup. Okay. Ooh, this will be kind of close. Yeah, see, all my defense boosts for the most part didn't really hit too much on the other one, unfortunately. No DB4s went off as much as they should have, unfortunately, in that one. Okay, so there's that one. We will activate our Nova here just for a little bit extra cushion. A little more cushion. Ooh, yeah, see, that was a close one. So definitely, that looks like what this guy was doing. Was his first setup was his weakest setup. I guess maybe if it, like, you know, debuffed me or got me with stats effects, maybe that would be good for it regardless, but it didn't really pan out. Since my second setup was enough to handle it. I'm betting his third setup was also pretty strong as well. Okay, so let's do one more fight. We'll do our 3 fights now for our daily thing on video here. Sure, why not? Let's go with this one here. My cat wants attention. She wants much attention. Okay, so he has a Dark Knight right there. Okay. Defense boost 3 max. DB 3 max still. Okay, so it looks like he only has DB 3 max on this setup. No DB 4s or anything. Okay. Okay, so 39 again. Okay, so 2 stained glass, what? Stained glass 4s? I think they are? Yeah, stained glass 4. Gives him max buffs and debuffs for his first setup. Here comes Laxius. Laxius, is that a 7-star? Holy crap, I think it was. Oof, man, that's some good damage on a not fully evolved Darkgnaw. Okay, let's see. This is for debuffing me. So right now he is debuffing me. Or is he buffing himself? I can't quite tell. Well, he's debuffing me and buffing himself. See, this is the problem. Okay, now I have stats effects, and I am being debuffed, and he's being buffed, but it's all not gonna matter. This is where having the Kyrie and the Xion EX Plus comes in, because they reset the playing field. So they... Oh, I woke up. Okay, that didn't... Do you not have, He may not have had the pet ranking, unfortunately. But now, okay, so... Bam, everything's now reset. I guess he didn't have the pet, Oh, he only has defense boost 2s as well. That's gonna be kind of painful for him now. I guess he didn't have the pet ranking, the status pet ranks, unfortunately. Okay, so there's that one. The majority of my medals, of course, are 7 stars. 7-star medals are what's kind of keeping PvP going at the moment for these ranks. That's not to say right now that you cannot get past these things without having... I don't know, you could use like your Kyrie EX and everything, and then going through, as an example, you guys can, let's see, swap, no, load power, there we go. Oh no, here, look at this, Illustrated Sora A, right now, he has a multiplier of 8.10, that's really actually pretty decent damage being dealt for 11 hits. He has an 86 max, because when that first falling price skill deal with the tier 4 came out, I got him with that skill on it. That's why I actually leveled him. He has raise and strength, unfortunately. I haven't managed to get a ground him, but if I ground him, he'll be obviously a lot better going forward. Even Goofy here, 14.62 multiplier. It's really, really good, and all I have on this one is just strength and poison, so... But he still hits really, really hard. So if you're able to evolve other tier 4 metals, like this guy here, for instance, HD Riku, 12.88 multiplier. And this guy does have defense. I had one more I thought that had a little better on it. Yeah, EA and ground on this one. So this is one I actually need to work on. So I probably should throw a skill on this one to be able to use him when I need to. But at bare minimum, it's going to be an 11.24 multiplier going forward and dealing some good damage. It's things like that you guys can utilize that are going to help you. Even over here, for instance. My clutch medals last week were actually this guy right here. I turned this guy into a 7-star because he's my raid medal. It's a 85 max lux. 8.64 multiplier. Only has raid traits, but he was still dealing about 1 million damage a hit with a DB3 max setup. DB4 he dealt less damage obviously because it's increased defense, but over 1 million damage per hit regardless on a DB3 proc. My Ventus, 11.86 max multiplier. This guy has EA and ground on him as well too. He also has 85 max HP gauge 1. These medals still do damage, and you still see them quite often. The plus side too is that you can get their 6-star versions or anything, throw them into 7-star, and they still count as trait rolls. So you can get a few of them and keep on rolling things into it and help you guys out quite a bit. My Illustrated Riku, 8.10 multiplier for this guy, EA and Aerial right now on him. But that's the kind of thing you guys can work on. Right now, personally, I'm thinking my next 6-star evolve might be her. Right now, she has Triple Threat 2, but I still have like 2 more Triple Threat 2s to utilize if I need to, so I'm not too bad about knocking this one off. When she's evolved, she has a 13.27 multiplier at max, and all she needs is the higher HP, and you always have full HP, so she doesn't have that max multiplier in PvP setup. So I kind of want her. She also has EA and strength and ground, or rage now, but hopefully eventually I can get a ground on her. But she's a really strong metal. I'm tempted to throw it into, tempted to evolve into a 7-star version. I have some other 6-stars I'm also looking at, so I'm kind of thinking about that one. Diz right here, I do have enough to evolve him. He's one I am going to evolve probably more than likely into my 7-star version because he has ground and extra attack and a poison resist, which is helpful for PvP. But he's going to have that 15.16 multiplier, which is very, very nice. So he's probably going to be my 7-star evolve, more than likely. I'm still waiting for the Syax event coming up in 2 days to see what 8-star I'm going to evolve. But as of right now, I'm really looking at my Laxius, because my Laxius has ground, strength, and EA. He is designed for this destruction. Right now he's a 6.45 multiplier. He has an 86 max. Evolving him will turn him into a 14.01 multiplier. He's going to deal some crazy damage. He just needs to be in the highest slot ever, which is basically the pet rank, or the pet slot. And he's going to have that max multiplier, and he's going to deal some hefty damage. So, those are my thoughts for my medals in PvP right now, for what I'm going to evolve. And then that was my ideas a bit for my tips and tricks, or my guide basically, on PvP as it stands right now. Again, stats effects aren't having too much of an issue anymore, too much of a concern right now anymore. Mainly it's where are you putting your medals at the moment. So you need to have them placed in certain spots now to, if you are hit with statuses or anything, it won't impact you as much anymore because you're still getting your max buff, you're still getting your buffers going off and everything. You don't have to have your Kyrie Shion. You could have like your stained glass medal there to give you your buffs and debuffs and everything too. So those are it's kind of where it's placing. Like, where are you putting your medals? You need to have defense boost 3s, defense boost 4s, defense boost 5s. The more the better in a lot of regards. At least 2, 1 of each. So 1 DB3, maybe 1 DB4, 1 DB3, 1 DB5. If you can manage it, 1 DB3 max and then 1 DB4 or 2 DB4s or 1 DB4, 1 DB5. That's what's going to kind of carry you going through while still doing your damage. So basically, slot 1, slot 2 should be defense skills, enabled medals. If they go off and help you out, all the better. Your third slot should be your best buffer, either a stained glass or a Kyrie plus or a Shion plus. That's kind of what's going to help you the most. That's kind of it for now. I mean, so far, this is what we have for PvP. It's not, again, I already kind of went into a rant about this in my previous video. Hopefully we'll see change. Like I said, Glacy did post a Reddit posting the other day saying that they're aware of the situation and they're looking at changing it. So hopefully they do change it and this does get addressed. At least in terms of ranking of how it ranks, you know, that needs to change. It needs to be more like Coliseum, where if you play with smart setups, you can pick what rounds you choose to challenge to keep on increasing rank in Coliseum and keep on going. Or at least make tickets more available in other events. Again, like for instance, this daily raid boss for the week would have been a really good time to start doing that. To start throwing in gold and silver tickets as rewards for top rankers and solos and parties. That would have been good. So even like, you know, if you ranked in like, you know, top 2,500, maybe you got like one silver, one gold, or one gold ticket or something like that, you know, that would have been really good to see. But we need to see more of that. Tickets need to be more available for all players to start really balancing out the game, because these 7-star medals are just. I don't think anything's impacted more this game so far than these 7-star medals. It used to be some of the buffers, but I mean, everything's now revolving around these 7-star medals. So they have been, I think, the biggest game-changing thing about this game. But the problem is they weren't implemented properly. They weren't implemented well at all. I think Cena is starting to get that a little bit from all the complaints I've seen that one. The fact that Glacy acknowledged that was a step in the right direction. We'll see. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. Good luck on your PvP challenges and ranking and such, and I will see you guys in the next one. And let me know in the comments below if you guys decide to actually help you guys out. And any other feedback you guys have, any other things you've seen that work out that I missed, please leave in the comments below so other people can read them. Basically, we can get more information out to the community to better challenge these kind of things. But that'll be it, guys. See you in the next one.